respected ladies and gentlemen, the organizers of this meeting, I would like to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to express my view. One can only thank the Baloch Students and Youth Association UK and Kamba Baloch for holding a conference regarding the Baloch National Struggle, past, present and future here at Birkbeck University of London today. Though the Baloch struggle for their rights is one of the oldest in the region, unfortunately it is the most misunderstood and the least known of all struggles of the region. Hopefully, this conference too, like the UNPO and Royal Society conference in February this year, will remove the misunderstanding of the aims and objectives of the Baloch struggle and at the same time inform and enlighten people about the brutal repression going on in Pakistan. The dirty war that Pakistan has unleashed against the Baloch to deter them from pursuing the rights to live as a nation which they are. The Article 3 of Draft Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People is unequivocal on this issue and states indigenous people have the right of self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social and cultural development. This is exactly what Pakistan wants to preempt by terror tactics against the Baloch, who have valiantly braved overwhelming odds and persisted with their struggle. The past, present of Balochistan have been determined by fortitude and mettle of Baloch as a nation, and its future presents new challenges and demands more advanced and unwavering approach from the Baloch as a nation. The perseverance and passion of Baloch nation is being put to test by the dirty war that is being conducted against them. In the past 3 years, more than 700 Baloch activists and common people have been abducted, tortured, killed, and then dumped in different parts of Balochistan by Pakistan establishment and their proxy death squads to sow terror among Baloch population so they may refrain from demanding their rights. This brutality has failed to cow Baloch into submission. The Pakistani establishment is expected to up the ante because economically bankrupt as they are, they need the Baloch resources and China is their partner in crime, and promises to help them exploit Balochistan's resources with fancy schemes of Gwadar-Kashgar road and pipeline, which has nothing to do with the benefits of Baloch, but is needed to provide an easy and cheap energy corridor to China. The more desperate that Pakistan becomes for sustaining its bankrupt economy, the more repression of Baloch it will entail. This is because the Baloch have resisted all attempts to exploit their resources under whatever guise these have been initiated. After the farce of so-called elections and installation of the phony nationalist Dr. Abdul Malik as the chief minister, Pakistan feels it has acquired the needed legitimacy required to crack down even more brutally on Baloch. The farce of election stands fully exposed by the fact that the present Deputy Speaker of Balochistan Assembly, Qudus Bizinjo, won his election with a mere 544 votes. In Awaran 41 constituency, where only 1.18% of total votes were cast. That exposes how elections were held in Balochistan. The matters weren't different in other constituencies, as people had boycotted elections on calls of Sarmachars. Sarmachars, the freedom fighters for independence of Balochistan. An amnesty for the perpetrators of the dirty war is being considered on pattern of Argentina and Chile. This amnesty would have people believe that the perpetrators do not already enjoy immunity. There has never been an arrest or trial of those conducting the dirty war, but that isn't surprising at all. Because in Bangladesh in 1971, where millions were killed and hundreds of thousands of women were raped, there wasn't a single prosecution. Expecting justice for Baloch is far-fetched, but then this imposes a responsibility on all those Baloch who have any love for their people to raise their voices and highlight the Pakistani brutality wherever they are and however they can. I feel that the responsibility of Baloch intellectuals and activists rises in proportion with the increase in Pakistani brutality. The situation that the Baloch face today should have seen hundreds of Ata Shads, Gul Khan Nasirs and Sayyid Zawr Hashmis rise from the ranks. But unfortunately, the efforts have become limited to the social media. Not that social media is unimportant, but when one sees it dispassionately, one realizes that tweet is after all a tweet. It doesn't add to the literature, history, or the culture of Baloch struggle. Unless the Baloch poets, writers, and intellectuals persevere and promote this heroic struggle with their poems, novels, stories, and non-fiction writings, this already largely unknown struggle will fade away into oblivion. Twitter and other social media are tactical weapons with limited life, while literature and arts that Baloch intellectuals will produce will be the strategic weapon with an eternal life. Baloch need to understand the underlying importance of presenting and preserving the unparalleled history of struggle for the future generations, to learn from and the world at large to know the truth. Tweets on Twitter and status on Facebook are important. Meaningful and profound as they may be, cannot and will not be an alternative to the serious and dedicated literature. The culture of struggle has to be promoted to inspire the Baloch to persist and persevere with the struggle, because Pakistan, with all its resources, is busy brainwashing Baloch with love of lucre and allure of benefits of slavery. In these trying circumstances do not goad us into producing literature of culture of struggle and resistance, raising the level of our struggle, we will be failing in our historical obligations to the Baloch nation. It is easy for Pakistan, with the money available, to get recruits because of the immediate rewards of submission and slavery, the submission and slavery offers, while we have to inspire sacrifices for a dream most cherishable, but yet most difficult to achieve and even more difficult to convince the people with. We have to love the dream to be able to inspire the people with that dream. In the end, I thank you all and make an appeal to all Baloch to unite for the dream, for unless we unite, it will always remain just that, a dream.